Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Richard McCauley. For those of you that are new or possibly new, I'm a 12 year, just short of 12 years actually, Army vet and 100% service connected, retired, however you want to put it, through the Veterans Administration. Um, my whole point in being on here, right, is just to share how God has helped me to become a grateful, resilient warrior. And you say, well, you were a warrior maybe, but not anymore. Well, that's the thing is that I believe the truth is we're still in a battle today, and it still takes us being warriors. And my evidence for that is that, 22, an average of 22 veterans a day unfortunately take their own life. And I unfortunately have lost more friends to suicide than I have to combat. And that's sad, horribly sad. And so I see a battle going on that whether you have faith in God or not, whether that comforts you or somehow you've tuned in uh, miraculously, and hopefully you'll stay with us, but you don't believe that, you still have an enemy because you were made in the image of God, and Satan is our enemy and trying to take us out of here. But I'm just trying to share how I have become grateful and thereby resilient, all right, in this battle. Because I've dealt with the suicidal stuff. I've dealt with the post concussive syndrome that I still deal with, headaches and ringing in my ears and pain and the adjustment trying to fit in this society. All of those things I've been through, the suicidal tendencies, going to the mental health unit. I went to the acute mental health unit. Um, maybe the last time was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. But I went 9 different times over a stretch of 18 months and got locked in for having mental health episodes and issues. But then God over time has made a huge difference in my life, made all the difference in the world in my life. And so that's what I want to do is be here to share some of that on a weekly basis, every Monday, hopefully, right? Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. But through one episode a week, every Monday, us look at some of this stuff of how we can be resilient and grateful, resilient warriors together. Excuse me. And as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if this content helps you at all, whether you're a veteran or not a veteran, it doesn't matter. Um, God is for us all, right? And we're all in this battle together. Whether no matter whether you ever served a day in your life, right? We're all in this battle together. So if it can help someone, please share it, right? And that way you can do your part. But what we want to look at today, I want to look at the benefits of true wisdom. I believe that true wisdom, right, if we can get a hold of that, can change everything for us. I mean, everything. It really can turn life on its head if we can get a hold of true wisdom. But first, let's start by looking at what wisdom isn't. Okay, the wisdom I'm not talking about, because there is another kind of wisdom that exists in this world, that's being propagated and sold. It's being that's going towards the financial gain of a certain few, right? As they sell these ideals, um, but it's not true wisdom. So let's look. We're going to be in first. We're going to start in the book of James, chapter 3 and verse 13, and then we're going to move over to Proverbs, chapter 3, which is in the Old Testament. Okay, James is backed by the book of Hebrews. All right, and then you've got like First and Second Thessalonians, or I'm sorry, First and Second Peter's back there. Okay, so if you turn all the way back to Revelation and start uh, turning towards the left, you'll find the book of James. All right, chapter 3 and verse 13. It says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. Okay, so he's saying if there's anyone who's wise and understand, look at what they do, not what they say, right? To determine if they're really operating in wisdom. Verse 14, but if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts. Now, selfish ambition is sold by this world. That's the end all be all, right? As long as you can set your goals and attain them, and that's the ultimate happiness. That's it. There is nothing above that. And that's why so many of us, I think, at the end of that pursuit, when we find it empty, it's too much. It's too much for some of us to handle, right? And that war within wins. And that's what we're trying to avoid. But verse 15 says, listen, it says, selfish ambition in your hearts. Do not boast and be false to the truth. Okay? This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and listen, demonic. Demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. Look at our government, right? Look at our government. Look at sports and all the cheating that goes on. All the trying to bend the rules and break the rules for that ultimate win, right? Not paying any attention to what we become in the process. But verse 16, I want to read it one more time. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. Verse 17, but the wisdom from above is pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. Okay? This is what it is. Now let's look and see what it can do for us. What it will do for us. Because God didn't write all these benefits down for His health. He wrote them down so that we would be encouraged to embrace these ideals, understanding that He's got nothing but the very best in mind for us, not the worst. That's a lie from our enemy, the same enemy who wants to destroy you. And the only one, by the way, who's happy when your destruction comes. Right? The only one. Let's look at it. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5. Very famous verse. People look over it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's all. That's the recipe. Okay? It's got to be all. You can't come half-stepping. Don't come half-stepping. You can't with God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And do not lean on your own understanding. Okay? Which we do often. And it doesn't work out. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's every bit of it. Nothing held back. And do not lean. And in all your ways acknowledge Him. All of them. Not one way you say, well, God, no, I'm going to hold on to that. That's my deal. You're going to screw it up. It's got to be all the way. And listen, and He will make straight your paths. Okay, people, there are different versions say it differently, but the bottom line is you're going to be directed by the only one who knows the future, right? Who knows exactly what's going to happen because He's sovereign and in control of it. He's going to be the one then that will direct your ways and direct your paths. And I'm telling you, if He's doing it for me now. He's done it for me. He's doing it for me. I know then He'll do it for you. Okay? Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Okay? In case you were confused about what He was talking about before, He tells you in verse 7 real clearly. But in verse 8, here's the reason why. It will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. Anybody's bones need some refreshing out there? Anybody could use some healing? Here it is. Okay? And listen, he goes on, honor the Lord with your wealth, okay, with the first fruits of all your produce. He gave it to you anyway, okay? Ask Him what He wants you to do with it, right? With that first time you get paid, that first paycheck. How can you help someone else with it, right? Then, verse 10, your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. It's a promise. Whatever you dedicate to Him, He's going to pay you back tenfold. God is the debtor of no man, to no man. He doesn't owe anyone anything, and He won't. He keeps His promises. Right? My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline or be weary of His reproof. For the Lord reproves him He loves, as a father the son in whom He delights. Right? If you love your kids, you're going to discipline them, look after them, and God will do the same thing for you. Blessed, listen, verse 13. This is more stuff it's going to do for you. Okay? Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, the one who gets understanding, for the gain from her is better than the gain from silver, and her profit better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you can desire can compare with her. Think about that. Think about the thing you desire the most, or that one thing you say, if I could do that, if that would happen, I'd be happy. No, it can't compare with what wisdom can do for you. And by the way, this was written by the wisest man that ever lived. This same Bible says that Solomon, no man before or since, will be as wise as him. Except for the God-man, of course, Christ Jesus. But short of him, this was the wisest man to ever live, writing this, right, under inspiration of God's Spirit. God's Holy Spirit. For her gain is better than a gain from silver and profit. Okay, moving along. Listen, verse 16. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Anybody need any pleasantness in your life? Any peace? Sound good? Just get in this book. Get in this book. The wisdom is right here. And stay in this book. All right? And cut off the other influences that are dragging you down. Okay? Dragging you down. 18. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Those who hold her fast are called blessed. Right? You got to hold it close. Hold it fast. Right? Like stand fast, right? In the army, that always, what's standing slow? Stand fast. Stand slow. I don't know. But it means just to stay firm on it, right? You can build upon this. Okay? Those who hold her fast are called blessed. It's awesome. Just going to see if there was another part here. Yeah, let's read this last part. Let's skip over to verse 33 through 35 and we'll close. The Lord's curse, verse 33 of chapter 3 of Proverbs. Okay, 333. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but He blesses the dwelling of the righteous. Okay? And that's not mean a perfect, I'll never be righteous. I can't get the blessing. The righteousness is His righteousness. He just gives it to us. It's a gift. It's for the asking. Verse 34, towards the scorners He is scornful, but to the humble He gives favor. All right? Those that are bitter and want to be critics and scornful, okay, that's exactly what you get in return. But to the humble He gives favor. The wise will inherit honor, but fools get disgrace. Quite the contrast, right? The wisdom of the world, you're going to end up with disgrace. All right? The wisdom of God, it's healing, it's life, it's pleasantness, it's peace, it's all these things and so much more. And I want to make you a promise that I've made to many people before. But if you will, I don't care if it's a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, doesn't matter the time, it matters the attitude, right, of humbleness. But if you will go to this word, this eternal word, once a day, okay, twice a day is better, 3 times, however many, once a day though, that's it. That's all it takes. I know because I've done this, and I'm still doing it, by the way. If you will give it 3 years, okay, one day at a time, it's easy to do. What's easy to do is also easy not to do, but it's easy to do. And time will promote you for the simple disciplines you've done every day over time. Time will also expose you for those you haven't done, right? So let's be prepared Okay, because life's a wild ride, right? The only way to be prepared is to be tied to the source who knows the future, right? And knows you better than you know yourself. Okay? But if you will give once a day, no matter the time, for 3 years, you will look up, you will not recognize your life for how much better it's become, how much more peaceful it is. All right? I can promise you that because if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. I am not special. And that's what he's done for me. And guess what happened at the end of the 3 years? I still haven't stopped because it's that important, that vital to my life, to my family's life, to those around me, to those I can influence and help and affect, hopefully. But anyway, I can make you that promise, okay? Number one, you won't recognize your life, and number two, if you keep it going that long, you won't stop because you'll understand how it has revolutionized your life from top to bottom. Thanks for the time, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you, like I said, if you enjoyed it, if it helped you, please share it. And I won't be announcing each one of these on social media on Facebook. So click in, subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If there's something specifically you'd like to see covered in a future episode, I will entertain that. But the only thing I ask, if I cover it, you've got to tune in and comment. Okay, if you're the one who requested it, and let me know what you thought. But anyway, until next time, guys, God bless, Godspeed, and be safe out there. Thanks.